To go? All right. Good evening again. My name is Lynn Coots. I'm the Director of Athletic here at UMass Lowell. So this is my first Hall of Fame. So I'm excited to see a full house here. So as the athletic director, I can officially confirm that this is the only night of the year where no one's checking the score, arguing with the referees, or asking for more playing time. So we're in a good spot right now. I want to thank Aramark for a delicious meal and for your ninja moves as you work through this sellout crowd. So tonight we celebrate not just individual excellence, but the teamwork, commitment, and support it took to reach this point in history. Every name we honor tonight represents countless hours of hard work, shared sacrifice, and belief from teammates, coaches, family, and friends. That's what makes this night so special. We're here to recognize our athletes and one of our biggest contributors, the competitors who gave everything they had on the playing surface, and the visionary and supporter who continues to elevate us. Each of you has left a lasting mark on this university, and your legacy continues to inspire what it means to be a Riverhawk. To our inductees, congratulations. Thank you, Chancellor. She has my back all the time. Your achievements will forever be part of UMass Lowell's proud history, but your influence goes beyond wins and records. It lives in the values, integrity, and pride that define who we are as a program. I look forward to hearing your stories and feeling the passion you still have for your time here on campus. Tonight is all about you. To the families, teammates, and friends who support our honorees, thank you. You've been there through it all. Your belief and encouragement help make this night possible, so it belongs to you too. I also want to thank our team in athletics who helped make this night happen, and I'm going to go through the names, okay? Kristen, Grant, Ashley, her team, Boz, Grant, Joe, Alex, and Nick. And to my executive team, Eric Allen, Sandy Roker, Allison Quant Westgate, Q, Christina Stone, John Boswell. Did I miss anybody? Please say no. You know, I think for a long time, you know, there are people, as I always say, that work in the shadows and do all the work, and I get to stand up here and say, hey, aren't we great? Oh, I didn't do all the work. Those folks do all the work, and they're incredible people, so thank you all so much. I have a great team. Thank you all to the coaches for being here, too. Can I ask the coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, please stand up. What you see in games isn't where the work is done. It's all the work between the games, between the meets, between all of it. It's 24/7, and it's a great, great job, career, but there's a lot of work, and it's getting harder and harder by the day compared to what the NCAA is deciding. So I appreciate what all the coaches do. We take great care of our student athletes, our students first, and as you know here, they're students first. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for the time and care they put into selecting this year's class. You've helped to ensure that the stories and achievements of our Riverhawk greats will continue to be celebrated for years to come. And a special thank you to our Chancellor, Julie Chen, and a few members of our executive cabinet, Ann Maglia, Provost Joe Hartman, John Feudo, Deans Bertie Greer, Nora Dean Malakachi, are all here tonight. Your support means so much, and your presence reminds us what makes UMass Lowell such a special community, one where academics, athletics, and pride all come together. Congratulations to our inductees, and thank you all for being here to celebrate with us. All right. It's time to hand things off to a true Riverhawk legend, someone who's seen it all, called it all, probably remembers every score better than the rest of us. He's been the voice of UMass Lowell athletics for decades. And the interesting thing he said to me today is this is the first time he's going to be seeing who he's speaking to. So if you ever watch him at work, if you go to a baseball game or when it was hockey, you're by yourself, you're talking to yourself, you're talking to all you, but you're really just generating, you're talking like, you know what? That's a great point. So be gentle with him, okay? But I think you'll find it's almost like an audiobook. He's going to be, what a great way to talk about our history from someone who was there, saw it, heard it, and you say if the walls could talk, man, I think he could tell us a few stories. So please help me welcome up to the stand here, Bob Ellis.
Thank you, Lynn, indeed. Very kind words. I'm not sure I deserve it all, but I have seen a lot. And yes, I did say it's the first time I've actually been able to see my audience. So it's a little bit of an odd situation for me. That said, good evening. And it is truly an honor to stand here and serve as your master of ceremonies. I kind of think of it as being kind of a tour guide, just kind of carry you through things. For nearly half a century, in one fashion or another, I have had the privilege of telling the story of Lowell athletics, UMass Lowell athletics. It was hockey that brought me to this institution. Billy Riley, thank you very much. I've called 3 Hockey East championships, numerous NCAA tournament runs. I have broadcast a men's basketball national championship, described action from the Elite Eight. I've had the opportunity to photograph and write about some absolutely terrific athletic performances. I've been witness to unforgettable seasons on the diamond, on the ice, on the hardwood, on the pitch, on the fields of competition, and on the track. And I have truly been very, very lucky. I've had good fortune to watch and to record so many of you in this building and so many of you who will be honored this evening. I've watched you compete, achieve, and inspire. What makes this evening special for me as well is, yes, I know the records, I know the stats. I remember the moments. I was almost going to laugh with the talk about statistics as I watch broadcasting now, and it's all about statistics. I think it was former British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli who said there were 3 types of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. He may very well have been right. I know the records, I remember the moments. I always thought with the broadcasts that I wanted people to know what it was like to be in the building. I wanted them to feel the energy I felt at the Tsongas Center and the Tully Forum before that, the roar of the crowd at the Costello, soon or now to be known as the Kennedy Family Athletic Complex. More on that, by the way, shortly. I have enjoyed watching people compete. The grit, the passion that they show makes all the difference. These athletes defined eras in Riverhawk excellence. Tonight, we etch their names permanently into our history. Before we begin our inductions, it's my privilege to introduce the leader of this university. She has been a steadfast champion for our student athletes and for the growth and success of UMass Lowell. Julie Chen, the chancellor, has led the university to new heights in academics, research, and sustainability. She has led the development of a new 5-year strategic plan. I should note as well that while trained as a mechanical engineer, she was also a student athlete. We forget this at times.
I never forget that.
Thank goodness for you. And we'll remind people she competed at MIT in softball and field hockey. So please join me in welcoming our chancellor, Julie Chen.
Wow, all right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lynn. What an amazing night. And it's great to look out into this fully sold out Hall of Fame event because it speaks to the excitement for the inductees that we're having tonight and recognizing some amazing, amazing student athletes along the way. So first of all, let me say congratulations to all the inductees tonight. So I also want to say thank you to all the friends and supporters and colleagues and teammates and coaches that are here supporting these inductees, because it is all of you together that makes up when we talk about Riverhawk athletics. When we talk about UMass Lowell as a university, it's the whole team that makes a difference. And I want to say a little bit of something. We're going to hear amazing stories from the inductees, but I want to say a little something about what you have built here at this university. No matter whether you played 5, 15, 50 years ago, you created the culture. And we all know that culture is what makes a difference. It's that culture of the grit, the hard work, to pick up your teammate, to compete, and to achieve and strive and to do your best. And that is the culture of this university. And the wins and the losses and the records and it's all of that, right? It's making sure that you are a good teammate and that you make sure that your team succeeds. So I want to thank all the student athletes here, because you have built that culture that has continued to carry through to this day, and we hope for many, many decades beyond. So a round of applause for everybody here who's competed in that. So the other thing is, earlier today, we had the great pleasure of officially unveiling the Kennedy Family Athletic Complex. Thank you, John Kennedy. And we thank you and your family for being such an important part of this Riverhawk family, because that is part of the culture that we talk about, succeeding and then giving back. And as I look around the room, so many people have contributed. We talk about, right, your time. You're working, as many of the coaches are working other jobs and coaching, right? And I know for our track and field team, many of you also contribute towards a program. And that's important, because it is an odd time in NCAA college athletics, and that funding helps our student athletes succeed. So I want to thank you for all of your contributions of time and treasure and talent to this effort. So we will be hearing a lot of inspiring stories about our student athletes. And I'm very happy that we also have here some of our current students who will hear these stories and know that they are part of a long legacy of UMass Lowell Riverhawks and UMass Lowell student athletes. Congratulations again. Have a great evening, and be proud of this alma mater that you are part of. Thank you.
And again, thank you, Chancellor. Grateful for your leadership and everything you do to champion our student athletes and this university. One more time, let's give a round of applause to Chancellor Julie Chen. In addition to tonight's induction class, we are joined by many of the current Hall of Fame members. You may notice the blue jackets dotting the room. The blue blazers, it's not a new fashion trend. These blazers represent membership in the Blue Blazer Society, a tradition introduced in 2019 to unite Hall of Fame members and to help build and continue to build the tradition. The Blue Blazer Society celebrates those who excelled in their sports, set records, and brought championships home to Lowell. Many are elite, and we are fortunate to have so many in attendance with us this evening. So let's take a look at a video. This one celebrates the Blue Blazer Society. As I say, you see the various blue blazers around this room. I'd like to request that everybody who is a member, current member of the Hall of Fame, please stand and be recognized. Stand up. And I will say thank you for inspiring our current student athletes for continuing to carry Riverhawk tradition with pride. I do want to take a moment, by the way, to just explain how we get to this point, explain the process that ends with an evening such as this. It is an open process. Individuals, either an athlete, a coach, an administrator, a builder, becomes eligible some 10 years after their athletic careers or collegiate athletic careers come to an end. Teams are eligible for the Hall of Fame after 10 years as well. Anybody, an athlete, a coach, family member, teammate, fan, so on and so forth. The guy next door who brings, a sandwich every once in a while, can submit a nomination. Each year, the communications office as well provides a list of athletes who are eligible for the Hall of Fame. At one point or another in the process, all of those who have been nominated, either by the public, by teammates, or wherever, get referred then to the communications office. That office puts together their athletic resume, if you will, that accompanies the nomination. The communications office, by the way, does an absolutely terrific job. The information that is provided to the Hall of Fame committee is as full and complete as one can imagine. It talks about awards, it talks about statistics, but also at times includes quotes from coaches, from teammates about an individual that gives you more of a feel than just the numbers. All of that information eventually goes to the 10-member Hall of Fame committee. That committee passionately, and I'm serious when I say it, passionately discusses the nominations and eventually renders a decision. By my count, there are 163 members, 163 individuals, and 9 teams which have earned Hall of Fame status. That number obviously will change a little bit tonight. All right, you know about the process. You've heard me blather on for probably far too long. So it's time to get things started. Please welcome Steve Rogers, a member of the class of 2020. Now, that was an advanced degree. Anyway, he is UMass Lowell's Senior Director of Development. I've known Steve and worked with him at times opposite one another in a radio station, but known him for a long time. And I'll tell you this about him. When he speaks from the heart. Make no question about that whatsoever. Anyway, Mr. Rogers will induct John Kennedy, whom we celebrated earlier today with the dedication of the Kennedy Family Athletic Complex. Steve, come on up.
Could have been worse. Class of 2020, I bet you're expecting someone else. I think I can do this without glasses. Live up to my 2020 status. Tonight, with our first inductee of the evening, we honor someone whose commitment to UMass Lowell athletics reaches far beyond the scoreboard. My dear friend of over 20 years, John F. Kennedy, class of 1970. My dear friend, John Kennedy, has been a loyal champion of all of our student athletes and all of our students, and a driving force behind the growth of Riverhawk athletics. With a name like John F. Kennedy, you'd expect to have made history, and he has. Not from the Oval Office, but certainly right here at UMass Lowell. He is one of the reasons why we are a Division I school today. On a personal note, I can tell you what kind of friend John is. Last year, he rescheduled a trip to Europe just to attend my wedding. It meant the world to my wife, Colleen, and I. That's who John is, always showing up, always giving his time, his presence, his heart, just as he has for UMass Lowell for decades. John's generosity has opened doors for countless students to compete, to learn, to thrive. His impact is everywhere, from supporting every team in athletics, beginning with the field hockey team, thanks to Hall of Famer Shannon LeBlanc, to the Kennedy College of Sciences, to the floor in the Saab Center, dedicated to his late brother William, and to the renaming of the former Costello Gym, now the Kennedy Family Athletic Complex, which we celebrated earlier today. He has guided and supported UMass presidents, chancellors, athletic directors, and deans here in Lowell and across the system. But more than his philosophy, it's John's belief in the power of athletics to shape lives that sets him apart. He has always understood that sports builds character, teamwork, and resilience, qualities that last long after graduation. Through his vision and dedication, John has made our campus stronger, prouder, and better for generations to come. His commitment doesn't stop at athletics. It extends to the lifelong brotherhood of Sigma Phi Omicron. Where his loyalty and leadership have left a lasting mark. And thank you to so many of the SIG-O alumni out there for being here to celebrate tonight. I can honestly say on behalf of everyone here, John, you're a class act, you're a great friend, and you're one hell of a Riverhawk. Could my friend Shannon LeBlanc join me on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor and privilege to welcome John F. Kennedy, the class of 1970, up to the stage and receive his Riverhawk Blue Blazer, an induction into the UMass Lowell Athletics Hall of Fame.
I guess this is the time that I'm supposed to say something, but frankly, I'm speechless. This honor is not something I would have ever dreamed of at any point in my life. So I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity, and thank you for my fraternity brothers for being here in support of me and some of my dear friends on both the staff and the coaching ranks. You know, Lowell Athletics has always been important to me. Being such a tall individual, I joked earlier about turning down Coach Stone to jump center for the basketball team, but instead I decided to keep score. But over time, I've really enjoyed participating in UMass Lowell Athletics, including being an assistant golf coach where we went to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row, and to help a little bit here and there with supporting of athletics and athletes. And there's nothing that I cherish more than seeing or hearing from somebody who will say, without your help, I might not have made it through here. So thank you all for this evening, and I'm very, very humbled by it.
Thank you, Steve, and congratulations, John. Our next inductor is a man who speaks with great passion. He has gained the respect of tonight's honoree from his very first days he arrived on campus as a freshman. Unfortunately, Al Spinell is unable to be with us this evening due to a family emergency. Accepting the honor on his behalf is his former teammate and a fellow Hall of Famer. Please welcome Hank Brown.
Good evening. First, I would like to recognize the university and especially the athletic department for putting on such a great event. I also want to congratulate the inductees. It's an outstanding group of individuals, and I'm proud to be part of this. I will preface my remarks. It's a bittersweet evening. While I came to support two of my fraternity brothers, John Kennedy is here, Al Spinell cannot be here. So this is a bit emotional for me, so please forgive me. I will give you what I was going to say about Al, and then I have his remarks to read, which are mildly embarrassing because he mentions me. I will need to put my glasses on because I'm the oldest person here. Anyway, I am here to introduce you to Al Spinell and reveal what an asset he was to both the university and athletics, and as a student and alumnus. I could bore you with statistics, which show Al in the top 10 categories, both offensively and defensively as a basketball player. But I suspect each inductee has a similar footprint, so that kind of gets old. Al is also my friend and a fraternity brother, so I don't want it to appear that I would simply present a rosy picture which may or may not capture his contributions to Lowell Tech. I am instead going to base my remarks on the work of a Lowell historian, such that I, to a certain extent, take myself out of this. Alfred B. Spinell, Jr., class of 1970. Al Spinell was a top 10 all-time scorer at Lowell Tech. Frequently the team's high scorer on a given night, he was noted for last-minute heroics, which won tight games. Those are the historian's words, not mine. He was a guard who played at times with two current Hall of Famers, top 10 scorers as well. I would personally add that players do not score well unless they have a guard who can manage a game and deliver the ball to them consistently. That was Al Spinell. He was a two-year captain, exhibiting the leadership that manifested itself in game management, and indeed was shown throughout his career. He received all New England recognition in 1969. He won the Lester Cushing Award in 1970, and he was the first LTI graduate to receive an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. I don't shuffle papers well, sorry. While having a huge impact on athletics at a school that placed most of its priority on academics, Al won special recognition from the Student Council, which he served as vice president. He was president of the Dean's Advisory Board and a Dean's List student. He also worked with disadvantaged kids at the Lowell Boys Club. Since graduation, Al has shown the value of a UMass Lowell education through a very successful career, and now is heavily involved in a company he co-founded. I would like to present for induction an athlete, businessman, and entrepreneur, Al Spinell. And I am really please don't laugh when my name comes up. I trust those here this evening understand the priority I have given to an urgent health matter in my greater family. I am deeply sorry to miss this special evening and celebrate the Kennedy Center dedication earlier today. I would first like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee, and in particular Hank Brown, for my nomination and selection. Hank, how could he grab more rebounds in one game than Charles Barkley? Called me around Memorial Day with the news, quite the surprise. After reviewing the other members' achievements in this class that are being inducted this evening, it was even more stunning. Those of you here, including the Sigma Phi Omicron contingent, know it when it was simply LTI and Dean Ivers ruled residential life. His classic look to the left, look to the right speech put everyone on notice of the challenges to survive academically. His words were prophetic. A good 30% of the class was gone after the first semester. One of my roommates was gone after the first semester, the other at the end of the year. As the first from my greater family to attend college, Dean Ivers' remarks added to my motivation to succeed. While the nuclear engineering program was the most challenging right out of the gate, I found a good outlet in basketball. The field house was not finished. Tryouts were at a school gymnasium close by. The varsity was filled with a talented group, including Hank, who captained the team that year. I settled into a spot on the freshman team. My sophomore and junior years were a struggle. We typically had no more than 8 or 9 roster players, and in many late afternoon practices, we barely had enough players to practice. The profs tended to be inflexible. We did not reach 500 either season. It really challenged my desire to continue and work with the team to get our heads above water. Finally, our senior season, we broke through. We won many games. We lost the previous 2 years. Plus, we beat our nemesis and arch rival at the time, Wall State, in both ends of the home-and-home series for the first time during my career. I tell all of you the foregoing story because the bar set by the school's academic standards, Dean Ivers' freshman convocation message, and the basketball challenges put me at a crossroads. Walk away, give up, or rise up and persevere. The experience at LTI built a foundation for me to succeed in graduate school and meet the career challenges that lay ahead. Again, thank you for being included in such a special and esteemed group. And a special shout out and thank you for all those Sigma Phi Omicron members here tonight. On cue. One important postscript. Congratulations only scratches the surface of John Kennedy's commitment to UMass athletics. I am sure the dedication ceremony earlier today reflected but a small part of his multi-decade commitment to UMass Lowell athletics. I remember John as a classmate and, and fellow Sig-O brother. He once said to me, "I plan to succeed just like my older brother." Well, John, you certainly have, and given back to UMass in many ways that very few people have. Al thanks you.
We, of course, extend congratulations to Al and send our best wishes to him and his family. Our next inductor is someone I know especially well. He has coached countless All-Americans and champions, including tonight's honoree. He has a talent for finding people with great potential and helping them to grow and to realize that potential. Please welcome the cross-country and track and field head coach, Gary Gardner, to induct his former student athlete and current assistant coach, Taylor Murphy Jefferson. Fold me came up from that side.
Thank you. First off, I'd like everybody at Hank Brown's table to stand up. Hank's grandson is now a sprinter here at UMass Lowell. And unbeknownst to the coaching staff and Taylor, he bought an entire table so her sprinters could come and support her tonight in this induction. It's an incredible honor to stand here tonight and celebrate one of the fastest, fiercest, and most loyal Riverhawks ever to wear the uniform. Taylor Jefferson be inducted in this Hall of Fame is something that's really special for me. When people see Taylor's name in the record books, they see the fastest 200 time in UMass Lowell history and the fastest time in America East history. They might think that success came easy. It was far from easy. Taylor struggled freshman year. She struggled with a lot of different things. Her academics were good. Her track and field was okay. Her social life excelled. At the end of freshman year, she made the decision to reach her potential. At that point, everything changed. She came back transformed, sharper, tougher, ready to lead. And from that point on, she became a multi-time All-American, countless school record holder, and became the best 200-meter runner in America East history. Perhaps the most defining chapter of her career came when we decided to transition from Division II to Division I. She was a 8, 9-time All-American and had the option, and we talked to her about leaving or staying, because in those first 4 years, you're not allowed to go to the NCAA championship. She was fast enough as a Division II athlete to qualify for the Division I championships. She chose to stay. I think that says everything about her. When she had the opportunity to go and do something as an individual and decided to stay and support the team. After graduation, she wasn't done giving back. Taylor joined us during grad school as our director of operations, and then I took her on a team trip to California, and the coach from Missouri Southern was there and said, "Is that good sprinter that you had?" I said, "Yes, in fact it is." And he goes, "I need a new sprint coach." And from there, she was off to Missouri Southern for a couple years, went to the other UMass for several years as their sprint coach. And then her mentor, Mike Ekstrand, that's here tonight, retired. And I called her and I said, "Do you want to come back?" And she said, "I was only taking these other jobs until you made this call to me." And so I am extremely proud to welcome Taylor to the UMass Lowell Hall of Fame. Please join us on stage.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored to be inducted into the UMass Lowell Hall of Fame. Standing here tonight, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunities, the experiences, and the incredible people who helped me cross every finish line along the way. Thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Lynn Coots, Chancellor Chen for making these moments possible. You've set the perfect starting box for this celebration, and I'm deeply grateful for your support and leadership. My coaches and my support staff, Gary, Mike, Barb, Allie, Dio, Artie, and Bob, thank you for seeing potential in me before I even saw it in myself. I arrived at Lowell as a Division II sprinter, unsure of how far I could go. You pushed me, guided me, and helped me reach a Division I level, showing me what I was truly capable of. I'm also deeply grateful for my teammates Kirsten and Sam, everyone else out there. Thank you for being my support, my relay partners, and my motivation every step of the way. Track and field may be an individual sport, but I couldn't have hit my stride or celebrated my personal bests without all of you. Mom and Dad, thank you for being my anchor, my pit crew, and my cheerleaders. Your encouragement helped me power through every challenge and every lap when I wanted to slow down. And thank you to my husband, Andrew. Thank you for your unwavering support. Over 10 years ago, when we first met, you had no idea how much you'd come to love track, but you embraced it wholeheartedly. Your belief through me in every season, every challenge, and every victory has meant more to me than words can say. UMass Lowell gave me the lane to grow, to compete, and to chase my potential. I'm proud to be a Riverhawk, and I'll always carry this honor with me through every race ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and of course, congratulations, Taylor. Our next inductor knows tonight's honoree better than most as teammates and as co-captains. They led the women's basketball program together. Please welcome Kendra Lippman-Young, a former women's basketball captain, one of the program's assist leaders, to induct Rosalind Worsley. Kendra.
It is such an incredible honor to stand here tonight and introduce my teammate, my co-captain, and my friend, Rosalind Worsley, into the UMass Lowell Athletics Hall of Fame. Rosalind played basketball here from 1987 to 1991, and from the moment she stepped on the court, she made everyone around her better and left an imprint that still defines the program today. She was a two-time All-NECC first-team selection, a two-year captain, and she ranks 4th all-time in scoring with 1,563 points. As a senior, she led the team to 18 wins in a row in our first trip to the NCAA tournament. Very impressive, but honestly, the stats only tell a small part of her story. Rosalind was a coach's dream. She was fundamentally sound, fiercely competitive, versatile, and unselfish. She wasn't flashy, but she was solid at all aspects of the game: shooting, passing, rebounding, and defense. She was intelligent, reliable, and always knew what the team needed, and somehow she always delivered. As a leader, Rosalind didn't need to be the loudest voice in the room. Her actions spoke for her. She had a quiet confidence and composure that set the tone for all of us. She was a mentor, somebody we could always count on, and she had command of the court, the locker room, the bus rides, and everywhere in between. She was committed to school, committed to the team, and committed to the community. Roz was incredibly respected by all of her teammates, and we all followed her example. Her teammates will all agree, Roz didn't have to say much, she just showed you how it was done. She raised the level of everyone around her and made the team and the program better. Her coach, Kathy O'Neill, said that Rosalind and a player of her caliber changed the entire trajectory of the women's basketball program here at UMass Lowell. She gave the program a new standard of excellence and left a legacy that still inspires today. Rosalind, it was an absolute honor to play beside you, to lead with you, and to learn from you. You made all of us better as players and as people. We all knew when we played with you that this night would come. You have more than earned your place in the UMass Lowell Athletics Hall of Fame. We are so proud to honor you for everything you gave to the game, to your teammates and coaches, and to UMass Lowell. Please join me as we congratulate Rosalind and welcome her into the UMass Lowell Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Kendra. That was wonderful. That was really sweet. Like you said, I didn't really realize I kind of made that kind of impact on everybody. So that was hi, baby. So first of all, I'm not the type of person, like they say, to say a lot or give speeches or whatever. I'd much prefer to be on the court or even giving out directions. So bear with me with this. I'd like to thank the committee for the selection to this. This is a huge honor, so I definitely appreciate it. I'd like to thank my teammates and Kathy for taking a chance on Kathy, Janet, and Becky for taking a chance on a girl from Rockland County, New York, come out here. And driving up here, I kind of realized that I felt like I realized it's been a while since I've been here, but I realized that Lowell was definitely home. So I appreciate that, and everything that you've done for me while I was here. So other thing, I'd like to thank my family for being here as a huge support for me throughout the years. It's been a journey for all of us. We've all had our ups and downs, but without them, I really wouldn't be where I am today. And I'd like to thank my dad. So he was the one who kind of taught me throughout my life. I don't know if most people know, but my dad used to play basketball too. So I remember having moments where he was coaching me, and we were just going back and forth, and he just made me so mad. So I remember calling my mom and telling her, I was like, can you come pick me up from the game? And she's like, well, aren't you with your dad? I was like, yeah. So she's like, well, aren't you going? I was like, I'm not talking to him. I'm not going home. So, but, Dad, without your guidance, your hard work, and your, love, I really wouldn't be here where I am today. So I thank you. And for two other people who aren't with me anymore, but I guess who have the best seat in the house, my mom and my sister, I always thank them for being the ones who are in the stands, giving me love and support and the guidance that I needed to be where I am today. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you and congratulations, Rosalind. Our next inductor is both a Hall of Famer herself and a longtime head coach of Riverhawk field hockey, not to mention apparently a good friend of Steve Rogers. Anyway, she coached tonight's honoree during one of the most dominant eras in program history and just recently celebrated her 300th career coaching win. I think she was seated at the noisy table earlier. Please welcome Shannon LeBlanc, class of 1998, to induct Sammy Macy Rodriguez.
Oh, no. Got a wild table in the back. I have nothing to do with it. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as many of you know. Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to congratulate all of the Hall of Fame inductees. What a fantastic group we get to celebrate tonight. So much talent and pride for UMass Lowell in this room. Those that know me know that I love Lowell. I love Lowell. Everybody knows that. So anytime we get to celebrate those that have impacted our athletic programs in such an honorable way, I'm filled with so much pride and energy. Tonight, we celebrate one of the most remarkable athletes ever to wear a UMass Lowell field hockey uniform, Sammy Macy Rodriguez. From the moment she stepped on the field, it was clear that Sammy was something special. She was a natural goal scorer and the kind of player who could change the momentum of a game with one single touch. But what made Sammy truly stand out was not just her talent, but her relentless spirit, her ultimate competitor's attitude, and it was a big reason why I recruited her. She hated to lose more than she loved to win. Believe me, at our high school games, I might have seen a toss stick or two. I might have seen some competitive outbursts, but that's exactly what drew me to her. I like to call that passion. That might have deterred some, but not me. I love a good challenge, Sammy. From the very first time I watched her on the field, I knew she was different. She had something special about her, things you can't teach. She had the natural ability to find the back of the net. She had competitive fire that I had never seen, and she was bold and fearless. She set incredibly high expectations for herself and those around her. During the recruiting process, I told her if she chose UMass Lowell over the Division I schools that were knocking on her door, she would win a national championship here. That wasn't an easy promise to make, but I meant every word. And I think deep down that challenge spoke to her. Sammy wasn't someone who needed the biggest name or the flashiest offer. She wanted to build, she wanted to win, and she wanted to leave her mark. And that's exactly what she did. By the time she graduated, she had written her name all over our record books, which still stand today. She is the most honored player in our field hockey history. She finished her career with the following honors. And I'm not a stats girl, sorry, Bob. But I looked it up, and I had Ashley send it to me today to make sure I didn't miss anything. She's a 3-time National Field Hockey Coaches Association First Team All-American, a 3-time Northeast 10 First Team All-Conference team, the 2009 NE10 Player of the Year, the captain of the undefeated 2010 NCAA Division II National Championship team. She was named the 2010 Division II Honda Broderick National Women of the Year, and most recently inducted into the NE10 Conference Hall of Fame. And she still holds these records in our program, which will be extremely hard to beat. 91 career goals, goals in a season at 30, points in a season at 76, and holds the all-time record for career points with 220 points. What many people don't know is Sammy's journey wasn't without challenges. Sammy faced not one, but 2 ACL tears during her career. Injuries that would have ended most players' stories, but not Sammy. Each time she came back stronger, hungrier, and more determined to leave her mark, and leave her mark she did. She has cemented her place in the UMass Lowell field hockey history books. What truly inspires me, though, about Sammy isn't just the goals or the records. It's the woman she has become post-college. I remember her freshman year. I'm going to roast you right now, and it's okay. Struggling to finish that, I wanted to say it was 1.5 miles, but it was only 1 mile. A 1-mile run without her inhaler. We won't go into details. She has a teammate that resonates with this story too, because she was in the same boat. 1 mile, guys. And now I see her build her life around fitness, running half marathons, and really, really committing herself to something greater than I ever probably envisioned for her. She turned once was a challenge, not being able to finish a mile, into one of her greatest strengths. It is nothing short of remarkable. Sammy, you were incredible on the field. You were incredible off the field. But my greatest joy has been watching your journey post-college. You continue to embody all the values you displayed as an athlete: resilience, passion, the true spirit of Lowell field hockey. I am incredibly proud of you and all that you accomplished while you were here, but more importantly, what you will continue to accomplish. Tonight, it's my honor to welcome you into the UMass Lowell Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'm going to follow that up. Okay. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everyone. I cannot even begin to describe how special it feels to be standing here tonight. To be part of this Hall of Fame filled with so many incredible athletes is something I truly never imagined when I first stepped foot on the field back in 2007. In fact, as Shannon just said, When I came into UMass Lowell as a freshman, I didn't know anything about hard work or discipline or anything like that. I was naturally athletic and competitive, but not exactly conditioned. During my very first preseason, I couldn't even finish the fitness test. We had to run a mile under a certain time, and I started walking halfway through it. Then I asked Shan where I could throw up. That was my welcome to college athletics moment, one that I will never forget. And unfortunately, that was the last time I learned the hard way either. During preseason, I somehow managed to end up on Stu's crew, and I made it, I believe, every single year. Consistency, am I right? Looking back now, I realize those moments taught me more than I knew at the time. I learned that nothing is just handed to you. You have to work for it. Talent might get you in the door, but work ethic keeps you there. And those lessons have stayed with me far beyond my time at UMass Lowell. I was lucky to be part of something really, really special. My teammates and I, we made it to the national championships 3 years in a row and lost every single time. But senior year, we finally did it. We won the national championship, finishing our season undefeated 24-0. That record is ingrained in my brain, and I will never forget it. It was the perfect ending to 4 years of hard work, sacrifice, setbacks, and just unbelievable memories. There was a lot of adversity along the way, too. As Shan mentioned, I tore my ACL twice during my time here. Those experiences taught me not to take a single thing for granted, not a practice, not a bus ride, not even multiple rounds of 16-16s. One of our mantras one year was play inspired, and to this day, I think about that often. There are so many people who would do anything to have had the chance to compete like we did, and that perspective has stuck with me ever since. Looking back, I realize how much being an athlete here prepared me for everything that came after. College athletics teaches you about leadership, discipline, accountability, but it also teaches you about yourself, about what you do when things get hard, about showing up when you don't feel like it, about how those small efforts repeated over and over and over again turn into something bigger, into progress, resilience, grit, and a sense of pride that nobody can take away. I learned that leadership isn't about being the loudest one in the room. It's about how you show up when no one's watching, how you lead by example. It's about trust and integrity and being someone people know they can count on, not just in the good moments, but in the hard ones too. So yes, my time at UMass Lowell shaped me into who I am today, but I did not do it alone. So now to the people who made all of this possible. First and foremost, to my parents, Mary and Doug, who are here tonight, the most selfless people I know. There has never been a moment in my life where I did not feel supported by you, not once. That's not something everyone gets to say, and I don't take that for granted. From driving hours to games, to the encouragement, to the shoulders to cry on, you have been my constant. Everything I've achieved is because you gave me the foundation to believe in myself. You didn't have much, but you poured everything you had into me and Brian. You made sure we were in every sport, every season, and you never once made it feel like a burden. You sacrificed so much for us, and looking back, I see it so clearly now. My dad literally built a hockey rink in our backyard every winter. They came to every single game, no matter how far, no matter the weather, they were there. When I think of my parents, I think of the words pride, kindness, and heart. Whew. They're the most genuine, hardworking, salt-of-the-earth people you'll ever meet. They made sure we were set up to succeed, but more importantly, they taught us how to be good people. I love you guys so much. And my brother Brian, my very first role model, he set the bar early for what hard work looked like, even if he didn't realize I was watching, which, let's be honest, he probably did because I was a super annoying little sister. I wanted to be just like him growing up. And to Shannon. Oh, Shan, where do I even start? You built this program with your bare hands. The standard, the culture, the pride, it all started with you. You didn't just coach us, you built us. You taught us that working hard isn't a punishment, it's a privilege. I'm sure most of you know that Shannon loves the field hockey program so deeply that you can feel it. In every single practice, every single meeting, and every game, you'd get goosebumps hearing her talk about it, even if you didn't know a single thing about field hockey. That's how passionate she is about this program. Her energy made us even more passionate about it too. She's everything a player could ever want in a coach. The perfect mix of tough love and heart, and of course, she lights up every room she walks into. Shan, you're the best mentor I could have ever asked for, and now I'm so proud to call you a lifelong friend. I'm forever grateful for your belief in me, even when I was still learning to believe in myself. And to my other coaches, Stu and Duds, the ones who never had to say much, just a look that said, "Come on, you're better than that. You got this." That quiet encouragement, that tough love, the way they just knew exactly what you needed to hear, it meant the world. And maybe most importantly, my teammates, some of whom are here tonight, which I am so grateful. When I came in as a freshman, I instantly had over 20 automatic friends. That's one of the coolest things, to me anyway, about being a college athlete. That built-in family you gain right away. It's hard to explain and hard to understand unless you've lived it. You eat together, travel together, struggle together, celebrate together, all the things. We were all so different, came from different backgrounds, had different majors and friends groups. But when we stepped on that field or in the weight room, none of that mattered. We were family. We had one mission, to be the best field hockey players we could be, and to win a natty ship, of course. So while this is technically an individual honor, it would not be achievable without all of you. And lastly, I want to thank everyone who played a part in this journey. The trainers, athletic staff, alumni, who are truly the best alumni in the entire world. The parents of my teammates and everyone in the UMass Lowell Athletic Department who supported this program. It truly takes a village, and I wouldn't be standing here without every single one of you. To UMass Lowell, thank you for giving me a place that shaped not just my athletic career, but my character. The lessons I learned here continue to guide me in everything that I do and in the person I continue to become. This honor means the world to me, but it's not just about me. It's about every single person who poured into me along the way. My teammates, my coaches, my family. This is for all of us. Thank you.
Say thanks to Shannon and congratulations to Sammy Macy, who I will tell you from my experience, she was a force of nature. Absolutely. Anyway, our next inductee, Vinnie Fleming, could not be with us this evening. Accepting this honor on his behalf is a former teammate and a fellow Hall of Famer, Division I and III All-American Bob Hodge, who is here tonight to help us celebrate Vinnie's place in Riverhawk history. Bob?
It's a privilege to be here tonight to induct my friend, Vinnie Fleming. Vinnie is one of those friends that if I hadn't met him, can't imagine how my life would have been so different. And here's a message from Vinnie. I'm going to read this verbatim. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize and thank Bob Hodge for representing on my behalf this tremendous honor. You're welcome. I would have loved to have been here in person to receive this honor, but unfortunately, I'm not able to attend. First, I'd like to thank the University of Lowell for naming me to the Hall of Fame. What a prestigious honor to receive and to be included with so many top alumni that represented the university proudly. I also would like to acknowledge my former coach, George Davis, and two close friends and former teammates, Bob Hodge and Brad Hurst, who's here tonight. Their friendship over the years has been so important to me and my wife, Cynthia. I arrived on the campus in the fall of 1975 and immediately felt that I had landed in the right place. I was excited to join the cross-country and track teams. I learned quickly about the level of training required to contribute. I had put in significant training over that summer and knew I would contribute to our team's results. I was consistently in the top 2 or 3 runners on the team that first cross-country season, and my hard work was paying off. That year, the NCAA Division III Championship was held at Franklin Park in Boston, only 2 miles from where I grew up in Jamaica Plain. That was magical for me. On a cool November day, 50 years ago, I came from well behind in the race and crossed the finish line and close to a virtual tie. Officials gathered and determined I had won the national cross-country title. That victory changed my life forever. I went on to nab a second place in the 10,000 outdoor championship at the 76th Division III national meet. I left Lowell and joined the Greater Boston Track Club, having the opportunity to train with the likes of Bob and Brad and Bill Rogers and Alberto Salazar, etc. I later worked and was sponsored by New Balance, and that role launched my career in the footwear business and afforded me the opportunity to run competitively for many years. In 2021, I retired from Nike and now live happily in Southern California with my wife. Thank you to the university once again for including me into the Hall of Fame.
Our thanks to Bob Hodge, and certainly congratulations to Vinny on his induction. Our next inductee is one of the most accomplished distance runners in UMass Lowell history. To help us honor him, please welcome back to the stage cross-country and track and field head coach, Gary Gardner. He will induct his former student athlete, Jeff Vega.
So I got chastised when I got back to my table. They knew when I take up my glasses, I'm going off script. So I'll do my best to keep my glasses on this time. Maybe I won't make fun of Jeff as much as I did Taylor. That freshman year deserved it, by the way. It's a real privilege to induct one of the greatest distance runners in UMass Lowell history, which is saying a lot. People like Bobby Hodge, Vinny Fleming, Bobby, our first Division I cross-country All-American, back when if you were in Division III, you could qualify for Division I championships. He qualified and went on to become a Division III and Division I All-American in the same season. Now I have to make a confession here. When Jeff was at Lowell High School for his first 3 years, I had no idea who he was. And that's saying something considering what? It's across the street here. His first 3 years of high school, he only ran indoor track. He didn't run cross-country, didn't run outdoor track. He did some sports called soccer and tennis. It wasn't until his senior year that he decided to run cross-country. I actually had to call Phil Maya, his high school coach, who's here tonight, another UMass Lowell alum. I said, who is this Vega kid? And I think I pronounced his name wrong, but that's okay. Little did I know that that would lead to one of the greatest careers in UMass Lowell history. Jeff comes from a long line of Lowell High School runners who have excelled here, and he carved a legacy all his own. How tough this kid was his, going off script, we were at the New England Championships, which included all Division I, II, and III schools in New England, And he finished, and he's like, my foot hurts. Like, something's wrong with my foot. I said, Jeff, what the hell are you talking about? I think he finished second or third at the New England Championships. He takes off his shoe, and a nail went up through his shoe 1.5 miles into the race, and every time he landed, the shoe dug into his heel. The entire race, finished the race, I think at the time it was a PR or close to a PR, and one of the best races he ever ran for us. Once he arrived, he literally wasted no time making his presence felt. He became a 2-time top 6 finisher at the NCAA Championships, an All-American at 10,000 meters, a multi-time Northeast 10 Conference champion, and this year was inducted in the Northeast 10 Hall of Fame. But Jeff's impact went far beyond his personal accolades. He was a cornerstone of launching us into Division I. Jeff's senior year was the last year at Division II, and when we announced we were going to Division I, and Dana said, what do you have to do to be competitive at Division I? I said, I need 5 kids like Jeff. And luckily now we have 5 kids similar to Jeff. Before the NCAA championship, his senior year in cross country, we went to actually Missouri Southern, where Taylor ended up coaching. We were at the national championship there, and I said, Jeff, you're as good as anybody here. I promise you, the year before he'd gotten third. As soon as he finished, there was, between second and 10th, there was 8 seconds. There was one guy 20 seconds ahead. He walked up to me and said, I'm not as good as anybody. That kid, Micah Chalimo, is much better than me. That was the only comment he made after finishing 6th at the NCAA championships. From a high school athlete who barely ran cross country to a national level, All-American, conference legend, and program-changing leader. Thanks, Jeff, for everything that you've done to help us launch us into Division I and finish up our days in Division II. Please welcome to the stage and to the Hall of Fame, Jeff Vega.
Thank you. I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, as well as congratulations to all the other inductees here tonight. When I first got the call, maybe back in May, from Artie about being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was very much surprised, but also unsure if I was going to be here tonight. But here I am, so I would like to start off by saying thank you to my 38-week pregnant wife over there, Glory. I didn't think we were going to make it here today, but she made sure that it was the last thing on her calendar. So I think after today, it's fair game. And so yes, thank you. But also like to continue by saying thank you to my parents. They're here today as well, Duarte and Leolinda Vega. Their hard work and sacrifice allowed me all the opportunities that brought me here today. Going on, I don't think this is going to be too long, but going on, like Gary said, my high school coach, who was first to me as Mr. Maya, because he was my teacher first, and then my coach. He was my first real cross-country and track coach, and I would say that his guidance definitely helped to lay the foundation for my running career. Then we come to UMass Lowell, and here with Gary Gardner. Without Gary, none of my accomplishments would have been possible. And for those of you that know, his in-race cheering, along with very colorful language, definitely helped to get me across the line there. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my teammates as well as fellow training partners. Getting out there every day for a run or a workout is not the easiest, but having someone to suffer with definitely makes it easier. Thank you.
Gary, excuse me, and certainly congratulations to Jeff, and he's not kidding when he talks about Gary at a race. Not kidding at all. Anyway, our final inductee tonight is Dean Jenkins, a self-made hockey player, a walk-on who rose to become a two-time All-American. To induct Dean, please welcome another Riverhawk great. I don't use that word lightly, by the way. He is the program's all-time leading scorer. I suspect it takes a Hall of Famer to induct a Hall of Famer. Please welcome Mike Carr.
Thank you. I'm getting old, so I need glasses. Well, first of all, congratulations to all the other inductees to the Hall of Fame tonight. Well deserved. There's some very special athletes out there. Wow. And also John Kennedy, great job. Supposedly you and I are supposed to get together in Naples, play some golf, right? I'm right up the street, you know that. Give me a sec here. And Billy, I will not tell bad stories. He already warned me. First of all, yeah, thanks, Bob. Probably the greatest voice of UMass Lowell. I've known you for a lot of years, so. It's great to be back at Lowell. It's always part of me, and my wife's actually a Lowell alumni. She's a cross country as well, so she didn't make the Hall of Fame, but I'm here to introduce my teammate, my roommate, my great friend. Was in my wedding party. I was in his. Dean Jenkins to the 2025 UMass Lowell Hall of Fame. Very excited about that. Before that, I just want to recognize a couple of former teammates and coaches who are here tonight. I'm not going to name them all. I can see them all over there. Coach Bish, of course. Kai's my roommate, Loney. There's a bunch of them. I don't want to say them all, but I'm glad you guys are all here to recognize this for Dino. Of course, all this would not be possible if it wasn't for Coach Riley, Billy, who built the hockey program. And I just want to recognize him. I think we should all give him a hand. And just so everyone knows, Dean Jenkins named his son Riley, who's sitting beside me, after Billy. Honest story. Also want to recognize Normie over here, who's taken the program to the next level. Normie's an alumni of Lowell, and we're so proud of him, and let's beat Western Michigan Friday. What can I say about Dean Jenkins? Whew. The greatest captain I ever played with, the true leader, always led by example. He would do anything. He'd go through a wall for you. I think if Bill Riley started the program, the guy he was looking for was Dean Jenkins, and he'd take 20 of them. Too bad he had one Dean Jenkins, one Mike Carr, one Ken Kaiser, one Paul Onis. But anyways, Dean was the guy that we all went after. I'm going to give a couple of quick stories, small ones. I won't, Billy, don't worry about it. But just this is leadership of Dino. Like we were in the Boston Garden, we're playing Merrimack College. There's 10,000 fans in the stands. And a guy cross-checked me in front of the bench, in front of the Merrimack. Dino came running over, grabbed the guy, and they were pushing around. And Dino's challenging the bench, said, no, you're not, no one wants him. So what happens, they throw Dino out. So as he's going out, they throw a beer on his head. Well, he's trying to get in the stands, and I can see all his brothers coming down. And the whole place is going to turn into a brawl. But, it didn't, but it should have. We had another time in national championship. Dean had set up a team bonding session at the girls' dorm. It's not what you think. He had us all get our ears pierced. So that was our team bonding. We won the national championship. but our ears were infected for about the next 2 weeks. But Dino comes from Billerica, Mass. 5 brothers, great family. They used to bring me in to Thanksgiving all the time. And I think he was built to be a Lowell player. Like, I think he was a walk-on, as Bob said. His hockey career went beyond Lowell. He signed a 4-year contract with the LA Kings, had a nice career there. He was a two-time national champion, an All-American. He's the number 5th leading scorer, I believe, at Lowell, but he's also the 5th leading penalty minutes. That tells you something. But his record at Lowell for the team was 94-24 for 4 years. That's pretty amazing. So anyways, I'm just here to congratulate Dean Jenkins. Can we all stand and welcome my friend Dean Jenkins to the Hall of Fame.
So, I just have one thing to say. Is this the only picture that they have of me at UMass Lowell? This is it? I mean, this is an unbelievable institution now. And if I really look around and see, and there's the Songus Arena. I mean, we used to play at Skate 3 in Tingsboro. We carried our equipment to and from practice. If we wanted to, keep our dorm room smelling at least normal, we would leave the equipment at the rink, but of course there was no heat. So you would play in the equipment the next day the same way you had it. So, but those were glorious times. Bill Riley, who you'll hear a lot around this institution, the legend that he is, you know, he had a dream that this program would be special, huge. And I was lucky enough to be part of some very important teams. You know, in spite of where we played, and in spite of some pictures, and in spite of the fact that the Canadians started drinking when they were in 3rd grade, we worked so hard to be good. And Coach worked harder than us. And, you know, the interesting part about it is that I was a 17-year-old freshman. Now the freshmen typically are 21 years old. I lost my teeth in my first semester walking around, so I walked around Lowell for about 6 months my freshman year. Real good social graces, having no teeth. The girls were running away, which probably for good reason. But anyway, those first couple years at Lowell, being a lightly recruited kind of guy, I showed up, but Bill told me something. He said, look, if you work hard, I don't care if you're on scholarship or not. I don't care who, the players think they are. I'm going to play the guys that are the best players, that work the hardest, that do the things that I want them to do. And, I listened. I was open. And I came from a football background. And every day in practice in football is rugged. And I practiced like I played hockey games. And that was something that was instilled, that competitive nature of Bill. It just kind of enveloped all of us in those days when, we had some really good players. Craig McTavish played on that team. He played 16 years in the NHL. He was a freshman when I was a freshman at Lowell. We had Tom Jacobson, a lot of good players. My freshman year, we got beat by Merrimack in the semifinals of the ECAC. But something happened that next year that was so fortunate for me. It's the greatest thing that happened to me in hockey. Unfortunately for my brother, it was one of the worst things that happened to him. He had gone to Union College. Billy Riley tried to recruit him for 2 years, and the Union College program disintegrated, and Mark transferred to Lowell, my brother Mark. And at the time that he transferred, it's not like today where, you know, you go around and everybody takes you. You had to sit for a full year. And unfortunately for him, that meant he only got to play 1 semester at ULowell. So, but the greatest thing that happened to me is I got to play with my hockey hero, who was my brother. You know, he was one of the best high school. He was one of the best high school hockey players, and then when he got to Lowell, we got to play in a line together. And that second semester, prior to that, with Craig McTavish and Tom Jacobs and myself and all these good players, we were only 7-5. After my brother Mark came for his 1 semester, we lost 1 more game that season. We won 18 in a row, and we won the national championship. So I want to recognize him and how important it was for my development as a player to be able to be lucky enough to play with my brother Mark. After that, my last couple of years at Lowell, we had great hockey players because we had just won the national championship in '79. We like to have fun. We had a lot of fun at Lowell. We had a coach who treated us like men, and we had this competitive fire for everybody that played. And if you weren't willing to pay that price, you weren't going to be on the team. You weren't going to make it. So, you know, I owe an awful lot to Bill. I didn't really know how to play hockey well. I worked hard, but I got taught how to play by a tremendous coach. He also taught me how to act and how to be. Didn't always listen, but to the best of my ability, I did. And the time that I spent at Lowell, and I look back, we left the beautifulness of the Skate 3 in Tingsboro to the Joe Tully Forum, which for us was like playing in the Songus Arena. You know, it was so much nicer. However, our locker room did have a hole in the wall that we had to use a propane heater to heat our equipment, so some things didn't change. But, you know, the guys that I play with, my teammates that are here that are so special for me that they're here tonight, you know, come and take their time, you know, as a tribute to this program and that legacy of coach, and how much we loved playing hockey here and how important it was for us to win and to be as good as we possibly could be. I'm so grateful to have won a second national championship my senior year and do it with the guys like Mike and Tommy and Tid and Kenny and, you know, and Donnie. I mean, it's amazing that so much time has passed. But we can remember every game. It's getting a little hotter, you know, a little bit, you know, in between runs to the bathroom. But, you know, we remember most of the games. Anyway. But we achieved so much. And I believe this, you know, I look around and I think this university ought to be, you know, looking back at some of those teams and understanding where that hockey program is today and why it's the way it is today based upon the guys and that guy down there in the corner, Bill, and assistant coach Gary Bishop. Gary told Bill to recruit me even though Bill didn't want to. Bill knew my telephone number by heart because he called my brother Mark up for 2 years trying to get him to come. But he took a chance on me. But he was also the most honest guy. He told me, work hard and you will get whatever you deserve. And I got this unbelievable, you know, opportunity here. I thought about this for a lot of years and I just kind of, you know, put it out of my mind or whatever. And I'm so grateful at this time of my life. The other thing I'm grateful for in my life today is my family. My son Riley, named after Bill, my daughter Megan, her fiance Tyler, and my brother Eddie, who actually, I think he played more hockey in men's leagues than Gordie Howe played in the NHL. So if you know who Gordie Howe is, he played until he was 50-something years old. Eddie has played men's league hockey for more than 6 decades. However, he's still looking for his second goal. So we're hoping that he can get that sometime soon in the very, very old men's leagues. Anyway, I'm so grateful. I wish my parents were here to see it. I wish my brother Pete was here. I owe my brother Eddie a lot. He used to take me to hockey way back when. You know, we're so lucky to be here. I'm so inspired by these athletes and the things that I was listening to and how great it was and how lucky I am to be a part of this. Thank you. Just change the picture, please.
We're just about done here. I will note someone apparently has chosen to give me a gift of a cell phone. I stand corrected. Congratulations. Billy Riley, we were having a night. We've honored champions, we've honored leaders, we've honored legends. We've officially welcomed them all into the UMass Lowell Athletics Hall of Fame. Tell you also, listening to the speeches, and I sincerely mean this, I think we learn a lot about what it takes to succeed in whether it's athletics or anything else. People have talked about passion, they've talked about the work ethic, they've talked about leadership, but learning from others as well. It's a good guidebook to success in the rest of one's life. Unfortunately, I'm in my 70s now. Probably not going to be much help, but for the sprinters who are younger, take heed. Anyway, congratulations to everyone, to our families, alumni, and supporters. Thank you for being here to celebrate with us. We are indeed so very proud. Before we conclude, we'd like to capture a photo of all of our Hall of Fame members together. So we'd ask that you all come up to the stage so that we can get a picture or more, a few, but whatever. Come on up. And this concludes the ceremonies. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope I have not spoken too long. I will say go Riverhawks. And Norm, kick the hell out of Western Michigan, please.